toy trains and Christmas have been a sentimental match since the mid-1800s when a crudely built toy locomotive was placed under some lucky kid's Christmas tree. Electricity was added at the turn of the century, and toy trains have been synonymous with Christmas ever since. And that's what this video is about, toy trains and Christmas. We'll introduce you to the train lady, Elaine Silit, who has designed a number of Christmas layouts, including the one on the cover of this year's Hammacher and Schlemmer Christmas catalog. We'll visit a layout featuring Marx trains and 2 Christmas displays combining Lionel trains and Department 56 ceramic buildings. We also have some fine Christmas music, both traditional favorites and original songs written especially for this video. Well, we have Christmas layouts to see and Christmas music to hear, so let's get started.
It's a magical train that only appears on cold winter nights, one day of the year. It helps Santa Claus deliver the toys to all of the girls and all of the boys. It's a magical Christmas train. It's a magical Christmas train. It's a magical Christmas train, and it's headed to you right now. As it travels through the ice and the wind and the cold, it carries the dreams of the young and the old. It stops at your front door on Christmas Eve, but only appears to those who believe. It's a magical Christmas train. It's a magical Christmas train. It's a magical Christmas train, and it's headed to you right now. It's a magical Christmas train. It's a magical Christmas train. It's a magical Christmas train, and it's headed to you right now. It's a magical Christmas train. It's a magical Christmas train. It's a magical Christmas train, and it's headed to you right now. Christmas Day, I want a brand new choo-choo train. Not a truck, not an aeroplane. I want a choo-choo train. I want a choo-choo train. Oh, honey, please, I'm gonna get down on my knees. I'll wash the car and rake the leaves. I want a choo-choo train. I want a choo-choo train. A real smokestack and some railroad track with little trees on a countryside. A crossing gate and some cars with freight. A little red caboose with a conductor inside. On Christmas Day, I want a brand new choo-choo train. Not a truck, not an aeroplane. I want a choo-choo train. I want a choo-choo train. choo-choo train instead. I'll get you anything, a brand new diamond ring. I'll get up every day and make you breakfast in bed. On Christmas Day, I want a brand new choo-choo train. Not a truck, not an aeroplane. I want a choo-choo train. I want a choo-choo train.
This is the Hancock Building in Chicago, Illinois. It is one of the tallest buildings in the world. This is the tallest toy train display in the world, and it is located just inside the Hancock's main entrance. The display is 9 feet high by 55 feet wide and 25 feet deep. It was designed by the toy train lady, Elaine Silit. Elaine has been designing toy train layouts since 1991 when she started Huff and Puff Industries. The G-scale layout is divided into 3 sections: a mountainous area on the left, a small layout in the center featuring dancing dinosaurs, and a valley region to the right.
The mountain portion of it operates 3 trains, and it has a 7.5-foot waterfall, and it has numerous automations. It has a little carousel, and it has a skating rink, and it has a barn for Santa's reindeers, and it also has the pole, P-O-L-E, air station, where the little cable car goes up to the North Pole on the top of the mountain. And of course, this is all very intriguing to children. The other portion of the layout is what we refer to as the valley section of the layout, although it is still mountainous and very, very much in the same character as the larger mountain railway. But it's less vertical, it's a little bit more horizontal. It also has a waterfall. And this year, in addition to this portion, we added what I call the dino line. The dino line was added at the last minute because visually we were stuck with an obstruction in the form of a travertine column that was 3 by 2 by about 10 or 11. And that's a big problem because you have this smack dab in the middle of the layout. So I decided that we had to camouflage. And of course, the best way to camouflage anything, in my opinion, is to build a layout around it. So we built a 2-level layout. And the theme of that one is dinosaurs and prehistoric animals. And the reason that we did that is the enormous popularity of these animals with the children. So I think that although the kids get a lot out of the Christmas layout, that for them that dino layout is extraordinarily successful, especially the dancing dinosaurs, which they like a lot. We have trees on this layout all the way from 9.5 feet tall down to 6 inches tall. I came up with the concept of creating a snow-covered woodland blend, and so that when people came in, they would go, "Oh, isn't this wonderful? They found all this magic in the woods." The very top of the layout is made by tearing apart old foam upholstery stuffing or mattresses that we get free of charge from the upholsterers because it's non-biodegradable and it's a way of recycling a material, and it's a very nice way of doing it. Now, the thing that I did this year that I thought was really interesting is the bases of the Christmas trees, because we didn't want them to show. And so we got a huge bolt of brown paper, ordinary brown wrapping paper. And we took paint rollers and we rolled that brown paper, and then we folded the edges and we crumpled it up. And then we weathered it with brown, green, black, and light beige spray paint. And we crumpled it around the base of the Christmas trees, and it looks like they're sitting in great big boulders, and all it is brown paper, and anybody can do that. I run Polk Aristocraft almost exclusively. I feel that Aristocraft is the best train for the money. It is an authentic American trains, wonderful trains, U25, FA and FB diesel units, and we have more traditional, the older trains, the 040s.
Hamlocker Schlemmer featured one of Elaine's layouts on the cover of their holiday catalog.
And it retails for $34,000, and that includes delivery anywhere in the continental United States, and we personally install it. Actually, we bring it to your house and we set it all up and we plug it in and we teach you to take care of it and to love it and to have fun with it. This one is built in 12 component parts and can fit through a 30-inch doorway, because I was afraid somebody would order one and then they would say, oh my goodness, I've got it, but it's outside my front door and there's no way to get it in.
Here comes Mickey down the track. Minnie is hanging on in the back. Watch them go. sound. Watch it wobble and wiggle, you will chuckle and giggle. It's the craziest thing you'll ever see. Take it from me. With Santa riding in the rear, it's loaded down with lots of Christmas cheer. Happy New Year! Here comes the Tunerville trolley, decked out in tinsel and holly. It's the famous trolley of Tunerville. Oh, what a thrill!
Oh, no! This is a Christmas display featuring Marx trains. Marx used to be one of the largest toy companies in the world. They started producing tin trains in the mid-30s and were always priced below Lionel and American Flyer. The display was built by Debbie and Jim Flynn of Elmhurst, Illinois. It is appropriate that the trains are Marx, since Jim is among the leading Marx collectors in the world and, along with his wife Debbie, owns the company that currently produces Marx trains.
We were able to meet the owner of the Marx name, Jay Horowitz, at a York meet approximately 6-7 years ago. Struck up a relationship with him and were able to combine our abilities of artwork and knowledge of metal fabrication with the Marx name through a license agreement, and Marx Trains was born. We started producing the first train, the Canadian Pacific train, in 1991, and we actually entered into a license agreement the following year, in 1992. It's been very good. It's a much smaller market than the scale market or any of the big guys, but we have a very dedicated following, and we feel that we're putting the tin back into tin plate, because it seems that a lot of people have forgotten what all of this train collecting was born out of. It was born out of tin lithograph trains. The Ives Company and Carlisle and Finch and some of the old ones, they created their first trains out of tin lithography. And when we found that the art form was still in existence, it was still possible to find companies to lithograph on tin, we just felt that we just had to do it. Also, all of our tooling, all of our parts, everything else, our lithography, all our painting, everything else is done right here in the United States, most of which in the Chicago area.
Debbie, a graphics designer, works right along with Jim.
Debbie has always been very interested in trains, even when we were just collectors. She would always go to all the shows with me and had a genuine affection for the trains. There's no way that I could do it without her. She's inspiration for a lot of the things we do. She does a lot of our cars, a lot of our artwork now on the computer. I used to do most of it by hand, but she's been doing more and more of it along with my sister Sandy on the computer now. Yeah, the market has softened and stabilized a little bit, but I think the future is still pretty bright, as long as train collectors we continue to make it interesting and expose tin toy trains and other toy trains to the public, and especially to children. If kids don't get interested in the trains that we all spend so much time with and love so dearly, there is no future for train collecting. Oh, we're having a tremendous amount of fun. I don't think we could stick with this and work as hard as we do, as many hours as we do, if it wasn't fun. It's one of the main things that keeps us going in it. Christmas layout is something that we've done for about the last 6 or 8 years, and every year it's gotten larger. It's always been based around a Christmas tree. We've always tried to have at least several trains running and is much action, figures, buildings, just as much going on as possible. I suppose most of it falls in the roughly 1950s, 1960s era. The front half is a downtown district with the theater and jewelry store and the broadcasting station. There's a back corner which is kind of a little rural area that has a roller rink and a little motel and a skating rink, and it has the North Pole gate at the front of that. And the back section is more the industrial district. It has the Marx factory and sidings and gantry cranes loading cars. And for those of you who don't know, Moon, who also starred on one of our billboards, Moon is our little Westie, and she also has a Christmas tree stand on the layout. And if you look at it closely, you can see that she's being tormented by her little friends, the squirrels and birds, but she's always got a place on our layout selling Christmas trees. The tree is an aluminum Christmas tree from, I guess, about 1961. It was a very popular tree, and it dates back to mine and Debbie's childhood back in the early to mid-60s when we both had these trees. And laying on the living room floor watching the Ed Sullivan Show, and the tree would be sitting there, it would be going around on a turntable, and there'd be a color wheel on either side of you, spinning in colors, and it's surprised we could even hear the TV. And it's a very magical memory, and if you've never seen one, you really have to appreciate it.
And a Lionel would just be dandy, and bring it right here. Forgive me for being crabby and also a little snappy. And now, yes, I am so happy, at least till next year.
The holes with lumber loaders. We're busy railroaders. Gather round the beacon turning. Fills my heart with Christmas yearning. join the choir. Holy smoke, the tower's on fire. Turn those hoses on full power. Hip hip hooray, we saved the tower. See the handsome Christmas trolley, filled with folks who feel jolly. Pull into the city station. Welcome to your destination.
Each year, Rosemont, Illinois police officer Dave Petrowski builds an O-gauge Lionel Christmas layout under his Christmas tree. Last year, it consisted of 2 levels with 3 loops of track. Dave loves to show his layout to children.
It's like a wonderland to them, with the tree, the ornaments, all the animated ornaments. Just everywhere they look, things are moving, and that's what gets kids interested in this. And they'll sit for hours here. Every little man, every little car, every little light, anything that blinks, it gets their attention. Bringing back those childhood days, 6, 7 years old, 4 years old, when you couldn't wait to get up and see what Santa Claus left you under the tree. To show the younger kids that are 5, 6 years old, policemen's children that I work with, give them some idea what maybe a train store or a department store would look like at Christmas time, or any given home when you walked in. I mean, everybody had trains underneath their Christmas trees in the 50s.
This year, Dave replaced the Plasticville buildings and Lionel accessories with Department 56 porcelain buildings and Greenfield Village kits. He also added a beautiful wooden bridge to the upper level.
Well, what we tried to accomplish this year, and I think we did, was more scenery. We started collecting Department 56, the New England Village, which is up in the mountain range, which blends in real nice with the trains. Department 56 had the birch trees that you see on there, some of the ceramic trees, the neon lights. Also, they have the animated skating pond, which is really, really nice. Hallmark Christmas ornaments have been around probably for 10 to 12 years now. They're getting to be highly collectible. As people come over and see them, they ask, and boom, they go out and they start buying them and collecting them themselves. Some of my favorite are the gingerbread cookies dancing around the oven. And of course, my love for like cuckoo clocks and chalets. I've got a couple of those. And anything with trains in them.
Some of these ornaments even talk.
I'm dashing to your place now. Leave your stocking where I can find it. Can you name all my reindeer? Merry Christmas!
Shuttlecraft to Enterprise. Shuttlecraft to Enterprise. Spock here. Happy holidays. Live long and prosper. Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
The trains are all Lionel trains. They're probably from the mid-50s. 3 independent loops. We went 3 levels this year. Well, it's a Christmas theme. It's something entertainment. It's something when you come home from a hard day of work, you just turn everything on, you sit, you relax, it calms you down. And it's been a tradition in the family every year. And I just want to continue that tradition, and I hope a lot of other kids will too. You know, the happiness comes when you see the look on people's faces and they say, oh God, oh wow. Next year, we'll have to talk to our friends at the NC Bridge Company, and maybe we may try a 4th level, or we'll try to center stage the Department 56 houses in the center and build around that. You'll find a lot of porcelain houses and ceramic houses on the market, but if you go with Department 56, I mean, that's the Cadillac of the line. No matter what gauge of train or what the cost of the train is, if it's a high price set or low cost set LGB, it'll all look good. It'll all look good if you take your time and you piece everything together.
You better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, because I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. He's bringing a train for everyone's joy, mommy and daddy, girls and boys. Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping, and he knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sakes. You better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. With a little toy trains and little toy tracks, Rudy toot toot and a clickety clack. Santa Claus is coming to town. With wind-up toys that twirl and spin, action-packed cars and a dumping coal bin, Santa Claus is coming to town. He's bringing something special for every girl and boy, that reminds him all throughout the year of that special Christmas joy. You better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, because I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming, Santa Claus is coming, Santa Claus is coming to town. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride a train on Christmas Day. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride a train on Christmas Day. Dashing through the snow with the smoke swirling all around. Over the hills we go, hear that whistle sound. Bells on trolley ring, making spirits bright. Oh, what fun it is to ride a Christmas train tonight. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride a train on Christmas Day. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride a train on Christmas Day. In an engine puffing smoke, rolling down the track, waving to all the folks, don't care when we get back. Through the countryside, the throttles open wide. Climb aboard our Christmas train and we will take a ride. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride a train on Christmas Day. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride a train on Christmas Day. Oh, what fun it is to ride a train on Christmas Day.
Creating Christmas layouts combining porcelain buildings and electric trains has become very popular. There are a number of different manufacturers, but the theme villages created by Department 56 of Eden Prairie, Minnesota, are considered the best and most collectible. Carol and Harold Bonus of Glen Ellen, Illinois, built this fine Christmas display. They are very enthusiastic about both Department 56 and Lionel trains.
I would say that Department 56 buildings are the best of all the buildings out today, just as Lionel is the best of all the trains out today. They're made with care, quality, detail. One is the Cadillac of the trains, one's a Cadillac of the buildings. Christmas with trains is very enjoyable. We could have it up all year long.
What Carol and Harold have up are 4 different Department 56 villages: Alpine Village, Dickens Village, New England Village, and a nice display over the fireplace based on Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol.
On the mantle is then the Bob Cratchit's house, Ebenezer Scrooge's house, which is where he lived, spirits of Christmas past, present, future, the poultry shop, where Ebenezer sends the boy down to get the biggest, fattest goose that he could find, and the boarding house, where Ebenezer stayed and went to school as a little boy.
Transportation is provided by a Lionel trolley. The Alpine Village reflects the architecture of the Alpine region of southern Germany. There are replicas of homes made of timber and stone, a hotel, drugstore, ski chalet, a small train station, and St. Nicholas Church, where Silent Night was composed. Below the Alpine Village is London's bustling Victoria Station. Next to the Victoria Station is a row of inns modeled after inns that Charles Dickens is said to have spent the night. Under the Christmas tree is Dickens Village. Its buildings and figures capture the busy energy of Victorian England.
As a little girl, I remember at home, my father always had a village underneath our tree, but at that time, they were little cardboard buildings with lights in them. And he did have a train around the tree. When my husband said, we need to have a train around the tree, I decided we need to have a village to remind me of my parents. The exactness, the details, the authenticity of the reproduction of the buildings and the details of the buildings, and then the accessories make it more realistic, and as though it's a village that you might know or might have experienced at some time or read about in some place. When the buildings are illuminated, they give you a warm feeling, and in some of the buildings we have put, particularly in the churches, we put yellow buildings to represent candles and the illumination of candles in a church, and it makes a warm feeling.
Across the front hall, in the dining room, is the New England Village.
Now, last year we had an open house for one of the clubs of the Department 56, and there were about 22 people that came here, and they would not leave. They stayed and stayed and stayed. We have already received an invitation for this year to have them all back again. And at the meetings, they keep bringing up about the trains and ask me questions about trains, and a lot of them have added trains to their Department 56 collections.
The buildings complement the train, and the train complements the buildings. Although we're not completely in scale with everything, but it's pretty close, and everybody does enjoy it, and it's fun to put up.
Each year, Department 56 publishes in USA Today a list of items they plan to retire. To retire an item means the mold used to make the item is broken and no more will be made. An example of a retired item that dramatically rose in value is the Joseph Engel Farm in the Alpine Village. Originally released in 1987, it sold for $33. Today, in mint condition with the original box, its estimated value is $1,000. Department 56 porcelain buildings are made in China and Taiwan and sell new for between $40 and $125. It is estimated there are between 50 and 75,000 Department 56 collectors.
Oh Christmas train, you travel through snow-covered bays. Oh Christmas train, your whistle sounds a sweet refrain. With boxcars full of Christmas toys for all the waiting girls and boys. Oh Christmas train, your whistle sounds a sweet refrain. Christmas train, you travel through snow-covered plains. Oh Christmas train, your whistle sounds a sweet refrain. Through winter snow and skies of blue, with Christmas wishes guiding you. Oh Christmas train, your whistle sounds a sweet refrain.
For many, a Christmas layout was the beginning of a lifelong affection for toy trains. There's just something irresistible about the colorful lights on the tree, the shimmering tinsel, and an electric train, its headlight reflected on the shiny rails, chugging around the tree. There's really no mystery here. What's there not to like? But what is a little mysterious is how those memories of long ago Christmas mornings linger and really never go away.
Christmas train, it's a magical collecting trains when I was only 5. I've got so many now, they're stacked 6 feet high. How many more I need, I can easily explain. All I really need is just one more train. One more train, one more train. All I really need is just a one more train. People think it's sad and it sounds pretty strange, but all I really need is just a one more train. I love my little trains, they're like children to me. I tuck them in at night and give them TLC. Before I go to bed, I tell my wife, sleep tight. Then I roll right on over and kiss my train good night. One more train, one more train. All I really need is just a one more train. People think it's sad and it sounds pretty strange, but all I really need is just a one more train. We were driving home one day when my wife started to complain. She said, honey, it's either me or those silly little trains. I'll never forget that day driving home in the car. Honey, you know I still love you wherever you are. One more train, one more train. All I really need is just a one more train. People think it's sad and it sounds pretty strange, but all I really need is just a one more train. Today I went down to the local hobby store and I bought me engine 104. Now some of you might think I'm the luckiest guy alive, but all I can think about is engine 105. One more train, one more train. All I really need is just a one more train. People think it's sad and it sounds pretty strange, but all I really need is just a one more train. All I really need is just a one more train. All I really need is just a one more train.
If you're a Lionel train enthusiast, you probably know Angela Thomas. If you don't know Angela, you must certainly know of her work. Angela Thomas is the Georgia O'Keeffe of toy trains. Since 1991, Angela has created a body of work depicting an enduring theme from the 1950s, boys thinking about Lionel trains. Angela wanted to capture the emotion of children dreaming and thinking about something they wanted very much.
I was very much interested in the accuracy of the paintings of the trains, but also equally interested in making sure that the emotional impact was there. And I have found that when the emotional impact is there, they're the ones that people call me up and say, I remember that, I was there, that's a picture of me, I was that little boy, and that's really what I'm trying to accomplish.
Her work is inspired by the Lionel catalog art of the 50s.
I think that when boys looked at the catalogs, and girls too, they probably imagined an entire empire from those catalogs. It was the state-of-the-art toy to want. So every little boy that went through the catalogs couldn't wait to try to get one of those trains.
Inspiration also came from people who have been touched by her work.
I get letters from people all over the country, and they write and tell me their memory, and we just talk it through and discuss it, and before I know it, I have a new painting.
trains run in the family.
Bob's been my mentor. He's helped me with not only choosing the trains, but he has the memories. He's felt the memories, and he can relate them to me very well.
I think I have a lot of those feelings that people say Angela's paintings give them. In one of her newer ones, Planning Ahead, yeah, that was me on the bed. I read the 57 catalog. That was by far my favorite catalog. Real vivid to this day. I can picture the bedroom, the bed, the whole 9 yards.
Angela and Bob wanted to build a display that would be an extension of Angela's paintings. They decided to recreate a hobby store from the 1950s, complete with operating layout, gumball machine, Lionel trains on display, and a front door that opens. Work started in the spring of 1993.
All the paintings I've been creating, we've been collecting a lot of nostalgic pieces from that era to be background pieces in my paintings, and we decided that we would make it like a whole store and have that whole feeling of the 1950s. So what better way to do it but to create a real-life window wishing, which was the first print that I did, and create a real window and have life-size children looking in the window. And then that led to the whole scenario inside.
My cousin used to have an antique store. He gave me a cash register. And then when he saw the cash register on the counter, he came through and gave me a bubblegum machine. One day, Angela and I were at an antique shop in the area looking for props for her business. The lady showed me this wooden case with glass shelves and whatnot. I got the Coke machine for my birthday one year, and it just kind of evolved.
When you're in the store, you feel like you're kind of walking back in time.
The room measures 27 by 13 feet. The layout is 30 inches high and measured 8 by 16 feet. The surface is 1/2 inch plywood over a 2 by 4 framework. All the track and switches are standard Lionel. There are 2 independent loops, 2 reversing loops, 3 storage sidings, and 1 passing siding. The track is laid on cork roadbed.
The wood frame on the outside, I came up with that idea from going to the visitor center at Lionel, and they have one, and it really gave it a dressy appearance.
2 ZW transformers power the 2 main lines, and a V is used for the lights. The ZWs also power the switches.
The control panel, I was influenced a lot by a very good friend of mine, Joe Sador. It was always with the intention to keep a nostalgic look. I'm not a real conscientious operator. I'm not a scale operator. I like to run the toy trains. I like to see them run, and I just didn't come up with any blocks. I didn't think I needed them, and I to this day, I don't think I need them.
The centerpiece of the layout is Angela's 4 by 8 foot mural. It's behind a large window and captures a moment in time that is familiar to anyone who ever dreamed about getting Lionel trains for Christmas. The mural also captures bits of Angela's past.
What I did is I created a little town in the background of the painting, and people that are significant are people that are very close to me, my family and friends. My dad was mayor of Wolf Forge, so there's Mayor Trotta's office. My mom used to make a lot of pizza, so there's Carmela's Pizza. My children's names are both in the different windows. My girlfriend Maria's Larione's bakery is there because she bakes wonderful cakes. I really tried to put a lot of personal touches in the background. And I have Angela's gallery in one point too.
A boy who looks like Bob Jr., which is not surprising since Angela used Bob Jr. as the model, peers in through the front door. Installing the door and false window required building a framework over a real window.
Angela's cousin helped me frame the room out, and he brought a guy who works with him and left him there, and he came up to Angela, he was doing, and he said, "Let me see if I understand what you want done. You want me to block the real windows in and build a fake window." And that's really what we did.
My family had trains. My brother had trains. My dad did set up Lionel train layouts under our tree almost every year when I was growing up. But probably I was the child that was looking at the dolls and the and the little china sets and that sort of thing in the window. But the emotions were the same. The feelings of wanting that toy and the excitement of the colorful displays and the Christmas activity was the same. So I can feel the feelings. It was just for a different item.
I do remember early on I had a Marx train, but I know I always wanted Lionel. In 1956, my mother for Christmas got me the 44-ton center cab switcher set. And I still have that train, I still run it, but we used to make a layout underneath the Christmas tree. We make a mountain out of paper. We'd put the track around, and then we had plastic fill, and we'd throw grass and mirrors for lakes and that. And it was just a single loop, and then she bought me the milk car one year and the log car. I had an older sister who would buy me accessories, crossing gates and banjo signals. So little by little, it evolved, and really it wasn't Christmas without them.
And Christmas is what this snow-covered layout is all about. Designs from the Department 56 Snow Village collection are surrounded by an assortment of Lionel stations and accessories. The snow looks nice, but like real snow, causes some problems.
The snow gets into the switches. This larger plastic snow works fine. although you have to make sure you brush around the switches.
Bob's advice for anyone planning to build a layout sounds like a Nike ad.
Just do it. Quit thinking about it. Just do it. It has a life of its own. And I think that you can really spend a lot of time thinking about it. I'm not downplaying planning, but there comes a time where you say, you know what, I'm just going to start doing this. That train room, I had it 3/4 built on the other side of the basement, tore it all down, and moved it because it just dawned on me that it'd be better on the other side, and I could accomplish it by just changing the stairwell. So I think that just do it, enjoy it. Don't overthink it. We're not doing brain surgery here.
In 1993, Angela was commissioned by rock singer and Lionel enthusiast Neil Young to create posters for a tour.
I was really left to my own decision as to how I wanted to approach the paintings. They gave me total freedom, and I really had a lot of fun doing them. One very important part was that they'd be trains, Lionel trains in the paintings. But I enjoyed doing them because they're very surreal, and they have almost an avant-garde, futuristic look to them, which is totally different than most of the other paintings that mostly everyone has seen. And I really had a lot of fun because I sort of let loose and distorted things a bit, here and there to give it a more futuristic look. And he loved them. We purchased both of them. This is the latest painting that I just finished. It's called Lost in Space, and it will be featured with an article written by John Lima in the September issue of Classic Toy Trains. It was created for that purpose, but also for my serious purpose because I had never done anything with space trains before. Steam engines are so technical. There's so many little parts that go in and out, and really, I have to study the steam engines when I'm painting them. I actually put the train right on my drawing board in front of me at the same angle that it is in the painting, and I have to really study it because there's just so many intricate details to a steam engine. The diesels are a little simpler and more streamlined, and you can do an awful lot with color with the diesel engines.
They were a very sophisticated toy. We didn't have the electronics. We didn't have the video. We didn't have the computers and the virtual reality stuff. Our reality came in our imagination. And before, where you used to have to pretend something was happening, geez, Lionel made an accessory that made that very easy to do. They had a log loader, and they had a log car and a coal loader. I don't think in a lot of respects there's a lot different between the kids today and when we were kids. I just think the mechanisms to do it have changed.
It has been tremendous fun. A lot of work. We work very hard, work a lot of hours. There's not a lot of division between home and work because we work at home, but we love what we do. And it is a family project. Everybody does kick in and help.
A lot of times when the kids are in bed and I'm here by myself, I'll just run the trains and turn them on and get a cup of tea and turn the lights down low, and I'll just kind of sit there and just get mesmerized in the smells, the smoke, and looking at some of the cars. And I'll find myself a lot of times turning on the light and getting the old catalogs and going back through. When I was a kid, we'd spent a lot of time, once the trains were up at night, I'd kind of do the same thing I do now, only I wouldn't have a cup of tea. I'd just kind of lay on the living room floor with nothing but the Christmas lights on and just watch the train and, you know, like I'm sure millions of other kids have done.
Christmas morning, at last. What wild and wonderful dreams are waiting to come true beneath this tree. A certain present here will make this Christmas the one to be remembered always. A Lionel electric train. It will grow in value and importance during the years ahead by giving these children a sense of responsibility while the whole family has loads of fun. This is Lionel's helicopter car. It actually launches a copter that takes off and flies like a real helicopter. And take a look at this IRBM missile launcher. Press a button and off it goes to a target that blows up. And watch, it can easily be put back together again and blown up again and again. Fun's the word for a Lionel electric train because you're in charge. Yep, on the Lionel line, you're the boss.
Christmas tree with presents wrapped so carefully, and everyone was together for a while. Christmas trees and carolers singing, children laughing and sleigh bells ringing, all the things that make your Christmas bright. There's nothing like toy trains and Christmas to brighten your day and bring good wishes. Come along for a joyous Christmas ride. Cinnamon sticks and colored lights, cold winter days and starry nights, memories of every girl and boy. The weather's cold but it's warm inside, so we'll sit and chat by the fireside, and all of us remember that special toy. Christmas trees and carolers singing, children laughing and sleigh bells ringing, all the things that make your Christmas bright. There's nothing like toy trains and Christmas to brighten your day and bring good wishes. Come along for a joyous Christmas ride. Christmas trees and carolers singing, children laughing and sleigh bells ringing, all the things that make your Christmas bright. There's nothing like toy trains and Christmas to brighten your day and bring good wishes. Come along for a joyous Christmas ride. My daddy gave to me a train running round my tree. On the second day of Christmas, my mommy gave to me 2 crossing gates and a train running round my tree. On the third day of Christmas, my sister gave to me 3 light towers, 2 crossing gates, and a train running round round my tree. On the fourth day of Christmas, my brother gave to me 4 cars hauling logs, 3 light towers, 2 crossing gates, and a train running round my tree. On the 5th day of Christmas, my uncle gave to me 5 trolleys ring, 4 cars hauling logs, 3 light towers, 2 crossing gates, and a train running round my tree. On the 6th day of Christmas, my auntie gave to me 6 bags of coal, 5 trolleys ring, 4 cars hauling logs, 3 light towers, 2 crossing gates, and a train running round my tree. On the 7th day of Christmas, my grandma gave to me 7 switches switching, 6 bags of coal, 5 trolleys ring, 4 cars hauling logs, 3 light towers, 2 crossing gates, and a train running round my tree. On the 8th day of Christmas, my grandpa gave to me 8 gatemen waving, 7 switches switching, 6 bags of coal, 5 trolleys ring, 4 cars hauling logs, 3 light towers, 2 crossing gates, and a train running round my tree. On the 9th day of Christmas, my cousin gave to me 9 brakemen falling, 8 gatemen waving, 7 switches switching, 6 bags of coal, 5 trolley rings, 4 cars hauling logs, 3 light towers, 2 crossing gates, and a train running round my tree. On the 10th day of Christmas, my best friend gave to me 10 lumber loaders, 9 brakemen falling, 8 gatemen waving, 7 switches switching, 6 bags of coal, 5 trolley rings, 4 cars hauling logs, 3 light towers, 2 crossing gates, and a train running round my tree. On the 11th day of Christmas, my neighbor gave to me 11 steamers smoking, 10 lumber loaders, 9 brakemen falling, 8 gatemen waving, 7 switches switching, 6 bags of coal, 5 trolleys ring, 4 cars hauling logs, 3 light towers, 2 crossing gates, and a train running round my tree. On the 12th day of Christmas, Santa gave to me 12 dump cars dumping, 11 steamers smoking, 10 lumber loaders, 9 brakemen falling, 8 gatemen waving, 7 switches switching, 6 bags of coal, 5 trolley rings, 4 cars hauling logs, 3 light towers, 2 crossing gates, and a train running round my tree.
Like most kids, Terry Dyer of Roscoe, Illinois, was not able to build his dream layout, but he never forgot about it. So years later, when Terry could finally build his layout, he decided on a small town at Christmas time theme, because he grew up in a small town and has fond memories of receiving toy trains for Christmas. This layout is a tribute to those happy times.
I always put a train set, the few plastic-built buildings that I had at that time, up under the Christmas tree. And it became more or less a family tradition. And that's some of my fonder memories of Christmas, was
the fact that I always was able to put together a little miniature train layout underneath the Christmas tree. The Christmas theme is because, to me, the toy trains and Christmas are synonymous with one another. That, I think, is when most of us, if we got toy trains at all, it was as a Christmas present. That just seemed the natural choice.
When you say toy trains, most people think of Lionel, because Lionel, during the 50s, when toy trains were the #1 toy, was the world's largest and best-known toy train maker. But they weren't alone. There was also American Flyer. Flyer always played Avis to Lionel's Hertz, but Flyer fans insist that Flyer was better, mainly because Flyer had 2 rail track, just like real trains, while Lionel operated on unrealistic 3-rail track. Terry received his first American Flyer train for Christmas in 1957. And for Terry, American Flyer will always be #1.
I think that the thing that was the big draw for me, aside from the 2-rail track, was the scale. To me, it looked more accurate. It looked more real. The cars, the engines looked more like the real thing. My best memory with American Flyer trains and Christmas was the second set that I received as a Christmas gift, which was the American Flyer Frontiersman, the Franklin passenger set. That was the set that I realized later in life what it cost my parents, given the income that they had at that time, and that will always be something special. Now that I'm older and I realize what that took.
Years later, Terry acquired an original Frontiersman set in mint condition.
The box set that I have, the mint in the box, is a 1960 Civil War Frontiersman Franklin set. It's never been run, complete with the original box, transformer, all the paper, the additional box Overland Express car that you received free from your dealer if you bought a box of Post cereal. And it was about a $6 and some odd cent car at the time.
Terry wanted his Christmas layout to include a snow-capped mountain, a small town, and lots of trains coming and going. Terry's family pitched in too.
The family gets very much involved. My wife has helped me a lot, given me a lot of advice. In fact, with the roundhouse, the idea of leaving the back of the roof open and putting the acetate in there so that you can look right in and see the engines, that was her idea. And she helped me a lot with the mountain, and she was on top of the train table, painting it. and sprinkling the glitter on it. My oldest daughter is married and they are farmers. And I have 3 grandsons who very much enjoy Grandpa's layout and his collection. And they decided that Grandpa should have a farm on his layout. So they purchased the Department 56 buildings and all the animals as Christmas and birthday gifts so that I could have a farm on my layout.
The colorful vignettes of Department 56 items blend nicely with toy trains to create a warm, Christmassy feeling.
I tried to capture certain memories and visions, especially the downtown theme. The use of the Department 56 ceramic buildings incorporated with the original plastic-filled buildings gave a look that was very reminiscent to the town I grew up in. The way they strung the lights across the main street from telephone pole to telephone pole, and tried to recapture a lot of that memory of what those Christmases looked like in small Midwestern towns. The layout is 7 feet wide and 19 feet long. Gives me the ability to run 3 full trains at the same time. All the track that I use is original American Flyer and original American Flyer roadbed. The only 4 pieces that are not are the K-line wide radius on the outside line and also the K-line roadbed, which matches the original perfectly. I wanted one very long outside loop so that I could put together a long drag freight with a lot of cars.
Heavyweight passenger cars, headed by a Pacific steamer, service the town on the inside loop.
I like the style, the shape, the size of those cars. And it's very reminiscent of the 30s and especially through the 40s and even the early 50s when those cars were still very much in use.
Over the years, Terry has accumulated a fine collection of American Flyer S-gauge trains, but he doesn't consider himself just a collector.
There's a certain enjoyment to collecting that it is very difficult to explain to somebody else, the joy that you get from collecting. But I'm also an operator, and I enjoy that, I think, probably just as much as collecting. I enjoy running them and seeing them now. That's, after all, what they were made for.
And on this day, Terry ran a nice variety of American Flyer post-war S-gauge trains.
The Sunshine Special was offered in 1956, and it has the 2 Texas and Pacific Jeeps, and then the freight cars that go with it, and that's an actual set. The New Haven electric set that I have was offered in 1957, and that is an original set.
This set, called the Challenger, consists of Flyer's largest steam locomotive, the 484 Northern, and 4 aluminum streamlined passenger cars.
The Southern Pacific Daylight streamlined passenger set was the first passenger set that Lionel produced for American Flyer in the early 80s, and that is probably still the most striking set that they have come out with. Santa Fe freight set was available in 1956 and 1957 in that consist, and it's one set that I've managed to purchase as a complete entire set. Very attractive set, very striking. The one that runs in the figure 8 is a mixed train that I put together just for myself, in that you have the baggage and passenger car, which is a heavyweight, and then the various freight cars that might be what you would see passing through a mountain. Probably what the most valuable piece, one of the hardest to put together or to find, would be the Silver Flash, because it came out so late in 1954 in that consist, and that was the only year with the brown striped passenger cars. That's a very hard to find set, and even harder to piece it together. The roundhouse is my first attempt at scratch building anything, and that turned out to be quite a project. It's taken me almost a year to complete. It's a 5-stall roundhouse. It'll hold 5 American Flyer locomotives. The 2 outside aisles are long enough to house 2 Northern class, which were the longest of the American Flyer locomotives. The reaction of visitors has been, they are very surprised when people tell them that you have a basement full of trains. They don't realize that you really have a basement full of trains. It's been very gratifying, the comments that I've gotten, and just to see the expressions on people when they take a look down that room and see trains everywhere. The best advice I could give to someone who's starting a layout is not to be afraid to try something. If it's something that you really, in your mind's eye, that you really want to do or want to see, be sure and try it. Advice is good. That's very important. The main thing is so that it turns out to be exactly what you wanted it to look like. What I see in the future is to hopefully be able to continue collecting now that I have most of the sets that I really wanted, then be more selective with what I get. Also, there's plenty of work to do yet on the layout, so that's not done, and hopefully never will be. And something that I've discovered as a grandfather that I didn't realize when I started all of this was to be able to share it with 3 grandsons. And that has been almost as big a joy as the entire collection and layout in itself. And at their age, we can have many, many years of enjoyment together. And to help promote the history of American Flyer, and to just more or less try and do what I can to keep the hobby alive for the next generations.
Jolly old St. Nicholas, lean your ear this way. Don't you tell a single soul what I'm going to say. Christmas Eve is coming soon. Now, you dear old man, whisper what you'll bring to me. Tell me if you can. A choo-choo train for us to play with lots of railroad track. Boxcars full of special treats with a red caboose in back. A station house and a water tower will make my set complete. To hear that choo-choo whistle sound would be a song so sweet. Don't forget the signal lights and a little crossing gate. A town with snow and a little pond where the children go to skate. Oh, I wish I'll find it all underneath the tree. Jolly old St. Nicholas, please be good to me. Will you grant me my request? I've been good this year. I dream someday when I grow up I'll be an engineer. I'll steam along from town to town, spreading Christmas joy, helping you deliver toys to all the girls and boys, helping you deliver toys to all the girls and boys.
When I was young, I had such fun and such great memories of winter days and riding sleighs and Lionels around my Christmas tree. As a kid, I never did fulfill my fantasies, but what came close and meant the most were Lionels around my tree. I remember waking up on Christmas morning and hoping there would be an orange and blue box or two waiting there for me. Now I'm grown, have a home of my own with my own family, and yet still I get a thrill from Lionels around my tree. So when my kids wake up on Christmas morning, I know that they will see an orange and blue box or two to create new memories.
toy trains have endured for over 100 years and continue to be a major part of Christmas. Who knows if toy trains can endure another 100 years? And who knows how Christmas will be celebrated in the year 2099? But one thing is for sure. As long as there are Christmas trees, there will be some kid somewhere lying on the floor close to the track watching a toy train zip by. Somehow, that's a comforting thought. Welcome to Toy Trains and Christmas 3.
It's a magical Christmas train. It's a magical Christmas train. It's a magical Christmas train, and it's headed to you right now. As it travels through the ice and the wind and the cold, it carries the dreams of the young and the old. It stops at your front door on Christmas Eve, but only appears to those who believe. It's a magical Christmas train. It's a magical Christmas train. It's a magical Christmas train, and it's headed to you right now. It's a magical Christmas train. It's a magical Christmas train. It's a magical Christmas train, and it's headed to you right now. It's a magical Christmas train. It's a magical Christmas train. It's a magical Christmas train, and it's headed to you right now. The winter snow bouncing to and fro, the passengers' change goes jingling-a-ling. Here comes a sight through the snowy white, all dressed in holly. Out on the street, people stop and meet to catch a ride and do some caroling. Climb on aboard as we strike a chord. It's the Christmas trolley. Christmas trolley, Christmas trolley, all dressed up for a winter fair. Christmas trolley, Christmas trolley, snowflakes dancing in the air. Christmas trolley, traveling along through the city square. Bumpity bump, clickety clack, clang clang, time to get aboard. With ribbons and bows, traveling through the snow, let's take a ride through a winter wonderland. Sweets and candy canes, such a happy train, makes us so jolly. Rocking side to side, it's a joyous ride for just a minute or all day long. Grab your coat and hat, let's meet and chat on the Christmas trolley. Christmas trolley, all dressed up for a winter fair. Christmas trolley, snowflakes dancing in the air. Christmas trolley, traveling along through the city square.
Combining O-gauge 3-rail trains with Department 56 villages is becoming popular. It is easy to see why. Trains add action to the villages, and the villages add color and background to the trains. It matters not that the people may be almost as tall as the engine. We are talking about fantasy here, not strict scale. Both hobbies are thriving. More toy trains are being produced than ever, and Department 56 gets bigger every year. Bill Kern of Brentwood, New York, collects both.
As far as people who collect Department 56 getting into Lionel or O-gauge trains has been a slow thing from the early days when I first used to try to talk to people. They would always say, oh, they're too big. What I think they meant by that, when you do a Department 56 display, your display is of buildings. And when you use HO track and HO trains, and they're very quiet, and they kind of wind through the village quietly, and they really don't disturb anything. But when you put O-gauge trains and you have a metal wheel on metal track, they make noise, they smoke, they light, they smell. Your eye is drawn towards the train and away from the buildings. There's no way you can escape the fact that this train is running. What they really meant wasn't that they were too big, it was that they were too distracting.
If you do decide to add trains, keep it simple. Assemble the track in independent loops and forget about switches. With independent loops, you minimize the chance of mishap. Toy train accessories also add action. Crossing gates, flashing signals, bridges, and an operating Santa Claus gateman all help complete the picture. The key is lights. The more twinkling and blinking lights you have, the better. As far as the trains being a distraction, no problem. Just turn them off when you want to focus on your Department 56 buildings. Otherwise, trains add a great deal to the enjoyment of your display. In most of the stories we've done for this series, the lady in the family usually collects Department 56, and the husband is the train collector. Combining the two areas of interest not only expands the display, but it provides the couple with the opportunity to appreciate each other's hobby. There's even been reports of a wife attending a train meet and actually enjoying herself.
I think the reasons that people build a Department 56 village or a train board are basically the same. In a world where things go wrong and you have problems and this and that, it's nice to come home to your little village or your little train board, and you're the master of everything. You put it together. Everything is where you want it, how you want it. You're in complete control over this little world. I really think that's the main lure for most people, to get into either one. I kind of wound up getting into both, because it kind of stretches you in both directions, but it's a lot of fun.
Department 56, located in Eden Prairie, Minnesota, introduced the Snow Village series in 1976. The idea was to appeal to the emerging nostalgia market by creating fanciful buildings and accessories that evoke memories of small towns in the 40s and 50s. Like most collectors, Bill started small and then sort of lost control.
When I first started collecting, the first year I had 3 buildings under my Christmas tree, and I was happy with them. Then I joined a club, and I meet all these other crazy people who love these buildings, and the next thing you know, we're going all over the country buying, and now I have 75 Snow Village buildings, 69 Dickens, and all 33 North Pole. I have 1 New England piece, which is Lighthouse, and I have all 6 buildings for the Disney Park series. There isn't a real lot that I'm looking for, just because how much can you have?
Bill's Snow Village display is L-shaped and measured 8 by 18 feet. It includes the Main Street hardware store, the Ryman Auditorium, home of the Grand Ole Opry, the Reindeer Lines bus depot, the Honeymoon Motel, and the Village Public Library. A trolley line and a loop of O-gauge track winds between the buildings. Snow Village's American Architecture series features examples of classic American home designs, including a Queen Anne Victorian, Federal House, and a Dutch Colonial. Bill also includes a train line with his Dickens Village collection, which is displayed on a 4 by 22 foot board. Dickens Village, introduced in 1984, captures the mood and spirit of Victorian England and is based on the works of Charles Dickens. Brownlow House and Mayley Cottage are from Oliver Twist. Mr. Wiskfield, the solicitor, and Daniel Pagatti's Seaside Cottage come from David Copperfield. There are 2 versions of the cottage. Bill has the rare unpainted version. Most are painted green. The Christmas Carol, Dickens' most popular work, is represented by Fezziwig's Warehouse, the Scrooge and Marley Counting House, and the flat of old crusty Ebenezer Scrooge. The display even includes the author himself reading A Christmas Carol in front of his home, Gad's Hill Place. Bill's complete collection of the North Pole series is on a 3-foot wide, 8 by 11 foot L-shaped layout. A Lionel holiday trolley provides the transportation. Typically, a Department 56 item is current for 2 or 3 years. Then it is retired. Once an item is retired, the mold is broken and the item will never be available again. Retired items fuel the dynamic Department 56 secondary market. Santa's Workshop was among the first 3 buildings issued in 1990 and the first in the series to be retired.
The North Pole, I really was just trying for total fantasy. It's a place that couldn't really exist. For that reason, it's probably my favorite village because there isn't anything you can do That's wrong. I was at one of the Bachmann gatherings, and there was a couple looking at somebody's North Pole display. And the woman turned to her husband and said, "Honey, didn't you tell me that penguins are at the South Pole, not at the North Pole?" And I just thought to myself, these people don't get it. This is where Santa Claus lives, and they're trying to judge whether penguins should really be there. It's total fantasy. There's, no, just tried for whimsical fantasy. There's a lot of candy, a lot of toys, because North Pole connotates Candyland and Toyland, and that's all I was trying to achieve with that.
Other Department 56 villages include New England and Alpine, both introduced in 1986, Christmas in the City and Little Town of Bethlehem in 1987, and the Disney Parks Village, which was introduced in 1994 and retired in 1996. The early buildings are primitive compared to the finely detailed and colorful buildings that are being produced today.
Well, Department 56 buildings have evolved. In the past 4 or 5 years, they've really gone through a revolution. They've been mixing media, putting metal and plastic attachments on the buildings, separate flags and things like that. And the buildings now really are far superior to the early buildings.
Department 56 also makes limited editions. An example is this Secret Garden flower shop, part of the Snow Village series. Regular production comes with this green awning. A special version, called an event piece by collectors, comes with a purple awning lettered Bachmann's.
Bachmann is the company that originally started Department 56 before they broke off to become an independent company. And because they are the parent company, they have a special arrangement with Department 56. Every year they have a national gathering and people come from all over the country. Special event pieces are made for Bachmann by Department 56. I may be wrong on the years here, but I think it was 1994 was the first time they had an event piece. It was a black van.
In 1998, Department 56 released the Bachmann Greenhouse, a companion piece to the Bachmann Flower Shop. The greenhouse was the first Department 56 piece to incorporate 2 different types of lighting. Another Bachmann event piece is this rare squash cart, made in 1995 as part of Dickens Village.
Probably the rarest piece I have is Mickey's Diner. I haven't paid a real lot for many pieces, really not over $200 for anything other than Mickey's Diner, which I paid like $500 for, which is actually a very good price. I believe it's about $600 and change right now. Mickey's Diner is a real place in St. Paul. It's a very famous diner. They sell their menus and stuff. They have souvenirs of it. But because of that, and it's such a landmark to the Twin Cities, that's a building that, like, really, most collectors have like a soft spot in their heart for that particular piece. And it's a really unusual, really neat piece. I had to have it.
Bill takes his collecting seriously and belongs to a number of clubs, including the Department 56 Heritage Treasures Club of Long Island, the Lionel Collectors Club of America, the Train Collectors Association, the Lionel Railroader Club, the K-Line and MTH collector clubs, and the Lionel Century and Ambassador clubs. Bill also contributes articles to the Village Chronicle, the leading magazine for Department 56 collectors. He operates Lionel, MTH, and K-Line trains on both his Department 56 displays and this 4x12 O-gauge layout. This is the prototype of the Coca-Cola Polar Bear hand car, which was produced by K-Line. K-Line also produced the 12 Days of Christmas train, which is headed by the Holiday Express S2 diesel switcher, which was produced in 1991. One of the reasons Bill belongs to so many clubs is because membership enables him to buy limited edition items available only to club members. An example is this Lionel GG1, which is the second of a series of 5 engines that are only available to Century Club members. The Ambassador Caboose is another special car only available to club members. Probably the most desirable of all these exclusive club cars is this Century Club boxcar produced in 1997. Bill doesn't own one, but that's another story. Each Christmas, Bill installs his O-gauge layout in the window of his video store. Bill has purchased a Lionel Christmas boxcar each year since 1986, the year he opened the store. On Christmas Eve, it's a tradition to run the Christmas cars headed by the Lionel Happy Holidays RS3 diesel.
I know having this train board in my store has lit the spark in many people to go out and buy Lionel trains. I've spoken to some of them, and I know that they've gotten back into Lionel trains by seeing the board there.
Bill keeps most of his collection in boxes, but considers himself an operator.
Most of my collection is boxed. At some point, everything comes out of the box, everything goes on the track, and I run everything. Trains are made to run, and I want to run everything I have, no matter how rare it is. Okay, I really don't have any old post-war Lionel equipment because I'm a condition freak. I would rather have a reissue of something brand new than have a used copy of something that's an original. Toy trains and Christmas and Department 56 and the lure of them, or the combination with the holidays. I'm kind of like a big kid, and to me every day is Christmas, so I leave everything up all year round, although a lot of people leave their trains up. But Christmas is absolutely my favorite time of year. I can't think of any hobby that's greater than train collecting, and to me, Department 56 just kind of comes along for the ride in that, to me, it's such a natural combination that it almost seems like it's part of trains. Sharing it with younger people, passing it down to children, watching kids' eyes light up when they see the trains and the buildings and stuff. There's nothing greater than that in the world for me. That's the best.
It's a real nice place.
David Baumgarten is a writer, filmmaker, and folk singer who lives in Los Osos, California. Dave has vivid memories of toy trains and Christmas.
In 1937, my uncle sold to my dad an almost new set of Lionel trains and accessories. I was only a year old and an only child. It became a tradition in my family for the train to be set up around the Christmas tree, elaborate and lovely. And for 20 years, it was a rare time of closeness for my dad and me. You see, he was ill most of his life, with aching, racking pain, anger, and a feeling of helplessness. However, he was a gentleman in his true nature, with the finest mind and largest range of interests and knowledge of any person that I have ever met. He died at 50, and my mother tragically a year later, but they left me a few warm and abiding memories. The Sunday before Christmas, the house was filled with the smell of baking and pine needles. The morning brought the shopping for the tree, and the afternoon meant that my dad and I would go to the garage and pull down 2 large, dusty boxes and a strange, lashed brown suitcase. We'd sit in the living room, and I would clean the track and the engine and the cars one by one and take them out of their little orange, blue, and cream-colored Lionel boxes. I'd clean each wheel, and we'd lay the track on the rug and run wires back to the grand transformer. There was something unspoken between us as each piece was connected. There was a little man who would spring from his tiny metal house to wave a red lantern. The menacing block signal would stop the train with its red light, and then, granting green permission, allow the grinding, clattering engine and cars to go on. The silver, black, and red crossing gates buzzed loudly, their red bulbs slamming down, and there was an automobile, circa 1930, waiting to cross the track. Behind the tree was a papier-mâché tunnel and a long cloud panorama, into which the train would disappear on its most distant journey and reappear to make a loud metallic whistle when I chose to push the button. Oh, and the knife switches that I would throw with a sense of incredible power. The red and green lit track switches would jerk around with a show of incredible power and redirect the approaching train safely to the clear track. Evening brought music. The old lacquered 78s of Bing Crosby, the Pope of Christmas, and Fred Waring, from which I first heard the Carol of the Bells. My dad didn't like that song, but it still haunts me each Christmas.
One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. Oh, how they pound, raising the sound, joy and gale, telling the tale. Gaily they ring, while people sing songs of good cheer. Christmas is here. Ding, dong, ding, dong, Merry Christmas. Ding, dong, ding, dong, ding, dong, dong.
In later years, along with the 78s, there were new records of Robert Shaw and Roger Wagner and Appalachian carols of my own choosing. I first learned about folk music from my dad, who would laugh and cry when he told me about a fellow named Carl Sandburg, who came to his high school in Pittsburgh and sang Foggy, Foggy Dew. In my 23rd year, after being away for several Christmases, I inquired about the trains. Mother assured me they were safely stored in a friend's garage. In 1960, my first child was born, and in 61, the year of Dad's death, I phoned the people who had stored it. And the answer came from a distance that I believe would never be gulfed. Oh, the train. Well, our children got into the garage and pulled out the train and scattered it over the neighborhood, and when we found it, it was all rusted and cruddy, so we gave it to the Goodwill. I have endured landlords, poverty, war and illness, birth and death. But nothing has ever upset me or given me a greater sense of helplessness than those terse, telephonically transmitted words. For 19 years, they were ritualized in anger and frustration. A few years ago, I began to search, unbelieving, for the exact replacement of the train in its tradition. In 1979, I journeyed to Seattle to be with my 5-year-old daughter, Lisa, at Christmas time. We went to a large, lovely house owned by a man who'd loved and collected toy trains all his life and sold them in his retirement. There, in the back room, lying in a heap of unsorted junk, I found a battered Lionel engine, number 262, the same as before, and a set of the same freight cars. There was the crossing gates and the grand transformer, too. The block signal peeked out, and the little cream-colored house with the red door. The little man was there, too, except his arms had fallen off. There were miles of track and switches, all waiting for my restoring love. When I found the train, it was 2 days after the traditional 12th day of Christmas. I called it the 14th day of Christmas, and I have celebrated it ever since.
Find me a tree of green fir, in the white fields, the forest, the wild. Help me to string it and ring it with beads. We'll be late for the caroling child. Come if you're lonely, be my company. Walk with me, walk for a while. Your worries'll keep for a good month or more. 'Tis the time of the caroling child. I'll circle my toy train round the tree. We'll sip some laughter a while. We'll play with the old times, sing with the new. We'll be the caroling child. Come if you're lonely, be my company. Walk with me, walk for a while. Your worries'll keep for a good month or more. It's the time of the caroling child. Drop all your teardrops in my tin drum. Walk with me, walk for a while. Your worries'll keep for a good month or more. It's the time of the caroling, time of the caroling, time of the caroling child.
There's our old friend Rudolph with his nose all aglow. Boxcar full of bunny bread and gondolas full of snow. It's quite a wonderful sight with its engine red and white. All aboard the North Pole Express. All aboard the North Pole Express. It passes right by Santa's shop and past the reindeer stalls, carrying special treats and presents for one and all. It glides along with ease, full of Christmas trees. All aboard the North Pole Express. All aboard the North Pole Express.
Each year, Dick Ford of LaPorte, Indiana, takes a month off from his contracting business to set up this elaborate Christmas display that features over 250,000 lights a church with an 18-foot tall steeple, outdoor decorations, 40 boxed animations, a nativity scene, and a 12 by 15 foot structure that houses a 2-level glass enclosed train layout.
Some people think I'm crazy. I just enjoy doing what I'm doing. This is my hobby. My boy has hobbies. He's got 4 wheels he spent $20,000 on. Well, my hobby's Christmas.
It takes 3 weeks to set everything up. Opening night is the Friday after Thanksgiving.
Every year we have around 200,000 people, and I would say this year we'll probably max out at maybe 300,000 people. And it's just that people have talked more this year than they've ever talked. And we're bigger than we've ever been.
Lionel trains have been in the Ford family for years.
My parents bought me a Lionel train, and I think it was probably from Firestone or someplace like that. It was a traditional thing. We always sit up underneath the tree. I'd always add a little bit here and a little bit there, and we'd always have to tear it apart and put it back underneath the tree at Christmas time. My house, well, it's built on a trailer. It's 12 foot wide, 15 foot long, 2 different levels in it. It's heated. It's got all thermopane glass in it.
A Santa Fe Elko passenger set and a Western Pacific GP9 freight operate on the lower level, which also includes a mountain, merry-go-round, Department 56 buildings, and a skating pond.
Well, Department 56 is really, really nice because they look more natural and they're really to scale and they're nice.
A freight headed by a Western Maryland Jeep operates on the top level. The falling snow and the many lights reflecting in the windows that surround the layout make for a pretty scene.
I play Santa Claus too, and I don't do it for money. I do it for all the charities and the hospitals and stuff. I have a very nice Santa Claus suit, but I don't do it to make money. I'm a good Santa Claus. Well, my future plans are keeping everybody happy and making sure that we can maintain what we got. Neighbors love it. They want to pick out a tree and decorate it.
Dick has space to expand the display, but is cautious about what he adds.
I mean, you can have 200,000 lights and it can be very gaudy. I'm not bragging. I think my 200,000 lights are tasteful. The reason why I do it is I get a lot of pleasure out of it. I think you have to give back a little bit what you receive, and it's been good to me, and I'll give back. I enjoy seeing the kids and the older people. And that seems like who enjoys Christmas more than anybody is. The little kids and the older people. They just love it, you know. My kid says, "You're crazy." He says, "You shouldn't set up this year. You've got too much work." I don't do that. I'm sorry. Nobody can steal my Christmas time.
Watch the snow glisten up on the shingles. Stop and talk with old Kris Kringle. Now listen to the sleigh bells jingle and jingle. Or play in the snow until your little toes tingle. You can cruise on down to the village square. Check out all the people who are shopping there. Pull into the garage and get your car repaired. Stop by the church for a little prayer. If you don't have a car, take a taxi cab and do a little shopping with your mom and dad. Come on and visit for a spell. You'll sure be glad. Make sure to tell your friends what a good time you had. barn dance and do-si-do. There's my old friend Joe and his friend Charlie, taking a spin on the brand new Harley. Stop in at the diner, hey, you won't be sorry. They make the best soup out of beans and barley. Let's reserve an alley at the village lanes, or sit on the hill and watch the choo-choo trains. Munch on some fruitcake and some candy canes. The weather's always fine, no one ever complains. Let's get some coffee, nice and hot, and then go on down to the record shop. Along the way, we'll have to stop and pick out a tree at the Christmas tree lot. You can sit for a while out on the stoop, or go out back and shoot some hoops. Put on your coat, mittens and boots, grab your ice skates and join the group. Just give a holler if you need some wood. I tell you, that's my kind of neighborhood. I'd live there all year round if I could. The people are friendly and the living's good.
Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.